All right, welcome in everybody. How are you doing today? Let's see what message wants to come through today. This is a reading that I call for whoever needs to hear this message. There could just be a piece of this reading that's for you, or this could be a little bit more holistic, but let's see what message wants to come through. And I'm sure that the sun is going to be in and out during this reading, so I apologize for the massive fluctuations in lighting. I'll try to correct as we go. All right, let's see what's going on. For those of you drawn by the title of this video, poised. On the brink of something big. Okay? Right away this morning, I have been kind of in this energy of something big, but it's like I can't quite put my arms around it yet. There's the new life. There's the new life. Time for a nap. Okay. Happy. Good. On the brink of something big. And this says to me that this has been a real climb. Okay. This has been a real climb. And some of you are not going, well, yes, you are going to make it over the finish line here, but some of you have to do something that you really, really don't want to do. Okay. And it's like, that's the only thing that's left to do. So you can see like, when I was a little kid and my mom was like, clean your room. Like I would do every part of it, but the hard stuff. I hated to vacuum it. I mean, they would come in and vacuum for me. It's not like a little kid vacuuming, like I'm in some kind of crazy place, but, there would be some of the hardest things to do, strip the bed or anything like that. And these things would be the things I'd leave for last. And my mother used to say to me, she's like, why don't you just do this first? Because all the rest of this stuff was just window dressing. These are the things, of course, she's not talking to a 12-year-old or a 10-year-old like that, but she's like, hey, the harder things are the ones that I care about. She's like the God in the sky, right? Like doing the harder ones are the ones that are actually going to make the biggest difference. And that's why it's sort of been like, well, I'll do this little thing and I'll put, I'll organize my books and I'll, maybe pick up the clothes, bring them to the laundry. Good. We're getting better. But stripping that bed and doing that floor, those are the things that are going to be the things that really move the needle. Okay. So that's just one message here. 7 of Wands underneath, the Devil card. Oh yeah. The 10 of Wands, the 10 of Swords. Oh my God. And the Queen of Cups. And then here you are. This is the new life. Queen of Cups, King of Cups. What's the hardest? So what is the hardest thing to do? You're kind of like dancing around it a little bit here. I like this a lot, but you see how it's sort of like, okay, I'm just kind of playing at this. I'm not really doing anything that's going to make a huge difference. I'm kind of just, okay, this lighting is driving me nuts. Okay. I'm not going to do anything that's really going to be hard for me to do. I'm going to do the little things. And then, but you're still connected. All right. You're still connected. So let's say that you're wanting to break up with a person or end a relationship, but the actual conversation is like the hardest thing to do. So you might be kind of like, well, I'll just kind of do the things that other people, my friends or whatever, are going to think is actually action, but it's not really action. Okay. What's coming is this 10 of Wands and 10 of Swords. There's going to come a time when it's sort of like everything else is done. There's really no other choice. You've got to kind of go at it. You got to do the hard thing. And then there's reward here. This is the new beginning. This is the King and Queen of Cups. This can be the integration of your own energy. All right. So it's not about like, it may not be about another person at all. This may be the thing of like, okay, I want to lose weight for my health and for my overall well being and feeling better and everything like that. But I'm just going to buy a bunch of new clothes that are going to kind of camouflage that. I'm going to do, sign up for a gym and never go. I'm going to, whatever it is, we all do it. Okay. We all do it. But there's going to be something that comes along that basically is like such ballast in terms of moving your life forward. There's no movement until you do the hard thing. And this can be represented by Saturn in your chart. Saturn is the hard lessons we have to learn. And Saturn makes us eat our vegetables and go to bed at a reasonable hour. Saturn doesn't care about window dressing stuff. So Saturn is like the savvy teacher in school, and you're dealing right now with a sub. All due respects to subs, but because they really do the hard work of coming in when nobody knows them and all of that. But that's kind of the point. It's like you really need someone who knows you deeply to go, I'm calling bullshit on this. Okay. And that you're not doing the hard work of it. You're doing window dressing things, or you're doing something that isn't going to get you to the next level. And you kind of damn well know it. The High Priestess is here. The 9 of Cups. That's the thing that's going to happen. Wow. The Magician. It's going to, this is a longer way around the barn to get where you want to go. But, for some reason, this has to happen like this, that you keep putting off and putting off and putting off the difficult stuff. You keep not saying, I'm working on it, or I'm doing things. Even that project with that boss that's like, okay, there's a really hard project that you just don't want to do. And I feel like at some point you got to pay the piper. So at some point that boss is coming to you and says, this is due next week. So that means I got to work all weekend on it, or I've got to put aside other things that were also kind of bubbling up as priorities, but I can't give them my attention. I've got to give the attention to the fire that's right in front of me. I've got to, otherwise I'll be fired, or otherwise I'll be, lost forever. No, otherwise, this is what Saturn is pushing us to do. So the 2 of Wands, the 9 of Wands, this is a pattern. Page of Swords, the 6 of Cups, the 2 of Swords, and the 8 of Pentacles. So eventually you're going to have to put in the time and energy. I don't feel like Saturn is going to let you off the hook here. Okay. So whatever it is that's in front of you, at some point it becomes more important to move into some better energy. Like staying where you are is no longer, I'm not going to say it's comfortable. It's just familiar. But staying in a bad situation, there's going to be some kind of tipping point where, okay, you can't stay. And for each of you, that might be different. For some of you, if you're in a very toxic relationship, but it's not that bad, which I talked about last week, it's almost like this person is going to do something that tips you over the edge. Like you cannot ignore this anymore. A health problem. You keep trying different things and nothing's working. At some point you have to say, okay, I've got to take a more responsible, coherent, holistic look at this. And once you do that, then you're okay, right? Then the health it's like, oh, it feels like relief. I feel like you've had this health problem, or you had this situation. You might go to someone who's a specialist, or someone who's a guru, or someone who's a guide. Okay. Someone who knows their way around the old attic, as they say, if it's mental health issues, whatever this is, some kind of decision that you've made is going to be the hardest thing to do. But it is like going to a lawyer if you're looking to get a divorce, and like doing that thing. And that lawyer says to you, okay, you know what? Like it's going to be fine. Okay. It's going to be fine. And that happened with me in terms of my business. I was terrified of a bankruptcy. I was terrified of what I didn't know what to do next. And I went to this lawyer, and she really put my mind at ease. She basically said, okay, I'm going to take all this away from you and I'm going to do what I need to do. You're free now of this burden. Okay, which is definitely here, this 10 of Swords. And I want you to go do something that you enjoy. That's how the channel was born. And I didn't go looking for it. I just stepped into my joy. And I feel like right now, this reading is for those of you who slowly have been drained of joy. You are not yourself anymore. Has anybody said that to you recently? You're just not seeming like yourself. If that's the case, then this is definitely for you. I see a 9 of Wands and 9 of Cups. So subconsciously, or what's going on behind the scenes, the ending is coming. And like the reason this reading is showing up is basically, this is a very powerful card in this reading. It's that you get to make the choice. You're on the brink of something big. How do you want this to work? And if you continue to sort of bury your head in the sand or not align yourself with something that's healthy for you or whatever it is, then it's going to be a betrayal. Okay, then there will be a betrayal. And, you know, if you've been kind of putting off this health issue, then all of a sudden one night you got to call the ambulance, and that feels like, it's something I didn't want to do. I'd rather have just walked into my doctor's office and handled it during the day without all this frightening kind of middle of the night stuff. This relationship not going well, but it's familiar. And then one day they do something so egregious that it's like it takes away your choice almost. There's no other choice. And, you know, I feel like some of you are, oh boy, sorry. This is a metaphor. Okay. So there's something about, I see it, I get it. And then the darkness comes in again. I see what I'm supposed to do. And then I'm like, no, I'm going to just sit back in this comfortable place of, I don't have to do anything. It's going to be fine or whatever. And I just feel like that's a childhood coping mechanism that isn't going to work anymore, because the light is going to keep coming in, shining brightly on the issue. And at some point it might become like, if you want to keep this from your family, if you want to keep this from your friends, at some point the light comes shining in and everybody sees it. Okay. And it's like, ooh, okay. So the tipping point is when I get to the place of, okay, there's nothing more for me to do. And I don't want this to be some big, ugly, hairy mess. I want to handle it my way. I want to be in charge of things. I want to do things the way I want to do them. And yes, I will align myself with my mission and purpose here in order to move forward. There's something that comes from this that is a lot of calm and peace. You may look back at this moment and time and go, why did I wait so long? Okay, why did I wait so long? The message that's trying to come in here, Page of Swords, Death, 8 of Swords, Ace of Swords. All right, it's some kind of truth, Queen of Swords. And like, these are opposite. This is the energy of transformation and rebirth. A message that comes in, like you can't hide from it anymore. You're seeing it, right? This is the Ace of Swords, this truth. So this could be different for each one of you. Some of you are thinking a relationship is going to get better. And at some point, there's a message that comes through spirit that you go, oh, nothing gets better until I make new decisions. Same with your health, same with your career. Nothing gets better until I actively move something forward. Today, as I'm doing this reading, Mars is starting its setup phase for retrograde. So it's still going forward. It's in Cancer. It's still going forward, and it's going to get into Leo. And when it gets to 6 degrees of Leo around December 4th, December 6th, that's when the retrograde phase starts. So over this next 2 months, I feel like some of you are going to hit this wall or hit this point that says, you know, there's nothing more to do here. I've got to do the hard thing. Okay. So 9 of Wands, this is a pattern. 2 of Swords, this is like, I want to keep this to myself. I don't want to have a lot of people involved in this. I'd really just rather be the one. I'd rather handle it on my own. Lovers, Gemini energy, 10 of Pentacles, the Moon, and the Three of Cups. Family and friends who are aligned with your healing or aligned with your joy. Anybody who's been kind of saying to you, hey, get this taken care of, or who would say that if you've kept something a secret. I feel like in the full moon here, October 17th, we have a full moon in Aries. And it's about like you taking the mantle of change, making that decision, making the new choice. All right. So let's see where we're going here, because I feel like this full moon in Aries is going to be not the tipping point. The tipping point is coming sooner than October 17th. The tipping point is going to be that moment of recognition that I can't hide from this anymore. And I feel like the kind of like the spoiler alert is that on the other side of this is something so good. Something so good. And that's why you're going to say, oh, I can't believe I waited this long. All right, let's keep going here. I'm going to look at other people involved in this. I'm going to look at what you don't see coming. I'm going to get messages from spirit, and we'll see how this plays out. All right, link is for you. If this is your story, I'll continue the reading. There's a link below. I'll see you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.